listeners. Today I'm doing a video about my OC and a bit of their lore. This is actually the first time I've materialized an OC, even though so many are very much alive in my head. But before that, I really want to thank everyone that has subscribed to me recently. I've officially hit 100 subscribers. I think I'm at 102 right now. And I know in the grand scheme of things, of YouTube specifically, that might not be a very big number. But when you think about being in a room with 102 people, that's kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure a good chunk of those are my family members and friends. But still, that's a lot. And to think that like 102 people have decided to kind of see what I'm about and maybe stick with me, no, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I'm very, very, very grateful. I want to post more and build a community, but I am unfortunately still very insecure about my art, and that does tend to hold me back, but I'm doing my best to overcome that. Okay, moving on to my OC. Initially, I was planning on drawing and talking about my other OC, who is a bit more of the main character. I mean, there are three main characters in this story, but he's very difficult to materialize, so I'm letting him marinate a little bit longer. So this character, her name is Ebony. I don't yet have a last name for her. Her friends and family members call her Benny or Ben. In this universe, there are people called Kiss Children, and these Kiss Children are said to have been kissed by deities before being born. So when they come to the world, they exhibit supernatural powers. And Benny is one of these Kiss children. From a young age, whenever her hands would make contact with someone, she'd be able to see their past. And sometimes just by looking someone in the eyes, she'd see a glimpse of their past as well. As she grew older, she realized she can do the same with certain objects, see the memories left behind. As you can kind of imagine, this was a very bothersome power for her, and continues to be. It often left her feeling very isolated, especially since not everyone is aware of deities and powers. Powers are not necessarily inherited, but if a deity is fond of a certain lineage, they might continue to bestow power to the family's descendants, which, as you guys can imagine, can create a bit of family drama. When Ebony's mom found out about her gift, she became very strict and pretty much prohibited her from using it. It is said that Ebony's great-grandmother was a Kiss child, and her grandfather is an ex-theology professor, so he's the one that taught Ebony about deities and helped her somewhat control her powers despite him not being a Kiss child. He had probably hoped at least one of his children would have been a Kiss child, but none were, and that disappointment created a bit of a rift between Ebony's mom and him. He's also the one that gifted her the gloves she constantly wears. Just a side note, Ebony at some point will probably go through a revamp, so I imagine her gloves being a bit more intricate. Since only through this fabric she's not able to see the past of people she comes into contact with. So Ebony is around 25 to 26 years old and works as a librarian. She very much loves her job. She looks a bit reserved, and because of her gloves, people think she's a bit odd or a germaphobe. But her reserved appearance is a bit deceiving. She mainly behaves that way because she doesn't want people to casually approach her. Also because in the past she has experienced accidentally touching someone and seeing things that have fundamentally changed her views on people. In the beginning of the story, Ebony is living in a small fictional town called Frostwood, and every day on her way to work, she's usually greeted by a little boy, Daniel, who everyone calls Danny. Danny typically is sitting in the outside step of a local diner as his mom is a waitress for the diner. She usually has a little chat with him and sometimes brings him snacks. One day on her way to work, she doesn't see Danny. She finds it strange but not odd, as he could be sick. However, on her way back home, there are police cars at the diners talking to Danny's mom, who's a mess, and obviously she starts feeling a bit of a pit in her stomach. She approaches the scene to find out if everything is okay, and one of the waitresses tells her that Danny has been missing since the morning, making it the fourth disappearance that has happened in the last couple of months in Frostwood. They form a search party even though no one is very hopeful since they haven't managed to find anything of the last three children. And during that search party, she makes brief contact with someone she's never met before, and sees a quick glimpse of this person's past, which it's them basically soaked in blood. Can I say that on YouTube? I hope so. Soaked in blood, offing a lot of people. She quickly turns away and she thinks she just saw a serial killer and wonders if he might have something to do with the disappearance of the children. And before she can even react, do something, the person is long gone. The search party proves to be uneventful as everyone pretty much expected, and eventually everyone goes home. At home, Ebony is wondering if there's more she can do and how to find Danny. And although she doesn't like the idea of using her powers much, she decides that this is definitely one of the times where she has to. So, in the dead of night, she goes back to the diner, removes her gloves, and touches the steps. Something that I forgot to add in her design is that when using her powers, glowing symbols appear on her palms. And maybe I should keep a secret about what she sees, just in case I decide to do something with the story. But in that moment, she doesn't realize that someone is watching her with glowing palms and all. I think maybe you guys can guess who is watching her, or maybe not. When designing her, I wanted her to have like an Earth Girl vibe to her. And besides maybe a bit of the clothing, I don't think that really shows through. So that's something I definitely have to work towards, just giving her that aesthetic. In her design, I'm showing her a bit more reserved with her gloves. And then in the other design, it's her smiling without gloves on. And honestly speaking, all my characters kind of go through it. So knowing, at least in my mind, that eventually they'll get to a point where they're comfortable smiling and joking. It's actually really good for me. It's really good for me. That's pretty much it. I don't have much to add right now that I feel I could give more insight to her character. There's definitely so much more that I haven't said, and I hope I can do maybe like a part 2 of Ebony or the other OCs in this universe. And I really hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you guys have any, I don't know, any ideas of where the story could go, maybe you guys could also write that. That would be really, really cool. And yes, that's pretty much it. Look forward to my next video. God only knows when that will come out, but I will try my best to do so. If you enjoyed it, if you thought that some things were confusing, yeah, just let me know in the comments, and thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!